From the fantasy armchair, it is the Fantasy TyRant. Hey there, fellow fantasy football freaks. It's me, the Ty Guy, the Fantasy TyRant, back here in the fantasy armchair to help you win your week in this very important Week 15, which is the semifinals in most of your fantasy playoffs. So listen, I'm well aware there's no real consistency with when my videos come out, but hey, I'm starting to hone in on a pretty good schedule here, alright? So let me tell you how this schedule's gonna go. So on Mondays now I'm gonna leave open just in case I need to flex something in there or, give myself a day off, get some sleep, And then Tuesday mornings, you get the Waiver Wire show. And that's also when I'm going to talk about streaming defenses. Wednesday is the Wild Card show. Now this is where the tirade, my weekly vent session, will live. And there'll always be something new on that show, like a new segment or idea, something like that. It's basically where I can showcase the bullshit I come up with. Throw shit at the wall, see what sticks, Plus, that's when I do my Waiver Wire update. And then on Thursdays, you get my ranking show. I'll do rankings at all positions, including kicker and defense, along with some ad-lib notes and shit like that. Basically, I'll just give you a riff off my ranking list. Whatever comes to mind. Kind of more free-flowing than the other shows. And then on Fridays, of course, it's the show that put me on the map. Benches, bumps, and deep dives. And then every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, that's when I do my 1 hour Tinker Stinker Power Hour, where I'll answer all your live chat questions and help you make those last second decisions while you're doing your business. So that's the schedule going forward. Look out for that. Oh yeah, and remember we got a goal of 200 subscribers by Christmas. Well, we're still like 60 away. I mean, it can be done, but it's going to take a Christmas miracle to do it. But I believe in you freaks, so help me out so I can continue to help you out. And if we hit the 200 mark by Christmas, I'll have something extra special for you. Anyway, thank you all so very much for your support. Well, let's move on from the bullshit, and let's get right to it. Here it is, the tirade. Now, this week on the tirade, I want to introduce something that I pretty much came up with out of necessity. Because you see, there are players who confound us managers week after week. Players we can never seem to trust, whether they're going to have a good week or a bad week. They have bad ones when we expect good ones when we expect bad ones, and then when we try to figure that out, they fuck that all up too. So in the end, you just end up like tearing your fucking hair out and banging your head against the wall because of this fucking lousy asshole. It's fucking bullshit. You sick of these guys? Me too. So how about we put them out of our minds and out of our lineups for good. And while we're at it, if there's a coach or an official or someone like that who's pissing us off, hey, they deserve to get called out too. It's about time we put these jackholes in their place, don't you think? A place where we just don't talk about them anymore. Where as far as fantasy is concerned, they're in purgatory, or worse, they're unmentionable. And it's these ass clowns that are the reason why I created the shit list. That's right, these are the fucks that I don't want to talk about or deal with the rest of the season. Or fuck, maybe I just hate them because they're assholes. Either way, you ain't gonna hear about them from me anymore. I'm done with these fucks, so let's jot down a few of these fucks right now, shall we? Now the first guy I'm thinking of is Derek Carr. This son of a bitch, week after fucking week, he epitomizes the confoundment that I was talking about earlier. His production never seems to fit his matchup, and when it does, it's after you've figured out a pattern that it doesn't. Just to fuck you up. And just when you think you've got it figured out, it comes up and bites you in the taint. Every fucking time with this guy, it's bullshit. Plus, I think he wears guyliner, I really do. So you know what? You know what, Derek Carr? You know what happens when you wear guyliner and you fuck up fantasy managers' weeks, week after week after week? You know what happens? I'll tell you exactly what happens. You're going on my shit list. The next guy I want to talk about for the last time is Jared fucking Cook. This guy's a nightmare to own, a nightmare to play in DFS, a nightmare in spot starts, plus he looks like fucking Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show. And most of the time his play is just as ugly. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he puts together a few good weeks and you're like, hey, is he finally a viable tight end? And then he fucks you over. Like, in a way that's not like a normal fuck over of fantasy owners. We're talking gourmet shit right here. Like he's some kind of vengeful fantasy god in disguise living among us. You know what happens when you're a vengeful fantasy god living among us? Dropping big fat deuces in our fantasy lineups every time we fucking start you? You know what happens? I'll tell you what happens. You're going on the shit list! And finally, I'm going to talk about Cliff Kingsbury, because the coach of the Cardinals needs to get his head out of his ass. I mean, come on, Cliffy, can't you see that Chase Edmonds is the best back you got there? He's way better than that bum Drake. Like last week, for instance, he averaged over 4.5 yards per carry, and Drake averaged under 4. Yet you're giving Drake more of the work. And for the season, Chase Edmonds is the 14th ranked running back when it comes to yards per carry at a hair under 5. Meanwhile, Drake is 31st at just over 4. 14th to 31st, and you're starting this guy? Come on, Cliff. Why are you wasting your time on this bum Drake and wasting the career of a potential stud like Chase Edmonds? Chase is my boy, and you're holding him back, Cliff. And do you know what happens when you hold back my boy? Huh? Do you know what happens? Well, guess what, Cliff? Guess what, Cliff Kingsbury? I'll tell you exactly what happens. You're going on my shit list! That's right. Okay, I'll put this away for now. But let me tell you something. Players, coaches, officials, take notice. Don't fuck up our fantasy playoffs, or else you're gonna end up on my shit list, and you don't want to end up on my shit list. Alright? How about you guys? Who do you have on your fantasy football shit list? Let me know in the comments. I want to see which players are dead to you in fantasy football. So yeah, from here on out, there it is, Wildcard Wednesdays. It's your tirade, it's new entrants on the shit list, various news and notes, plus your waiver wire update right now. One major update here, with news that Mostert is likely to miss Week 15, Jeff Wilson Jr. becomes a very interesting prospect for the Niners, in a bonus matchup where he'll get to feast on the Fantasy Fiesta in Dallas. I've got him at the 3 spot now, but he could move up if news about Mostert becomes more definitive. J-Will has proven himself a hot commodity when given the start, with high running back 2, even running back 1 potential at times. He can get the job done, so if he's available, pick his ass up now. And if you want more in-depth analysis on the rest of these picks, plus some bonus picks, check out my waiver wire video if you haven't already. Hey, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Alright, good luck to everyone this week. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Remember, we need 60 more before Christmas. It can be done, but you gotta do it. And if you do, I'll have something awesome for you. Anyway, my ranking show is on Thursdays, so check that out tomorrow. And then, of course, on Friday, benches, bumps, and deep dives. And then Sunday, my 1 hour Tinker Stinker Power Hour, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. 1 hour of me answering your questions while you're on the shitter. Or wherever the fuck you happen to be. You don't have to be taking a shit. It's just funnier that way. But that's how I imagine you all, so don't ruin it for me. Anyway, good luck this week. Ranking show tomorrow. Until then, I'm out. Peace.